Welcome out to Salida as talking some football, continuing with our season previews. Coach Luttrell from the Salida Spartans joining us. And as we talked about the other previews, let's start off going to last year. Obviously, your first year, what were some of the things you learned, picked up on, how things go?
It's in order to be the best, you have to beat the best, and Lahano is definitely the best. That was the only team I felt like was actually stronger than us, and they just brought that. And McGarris, how he coaches down there, he does a great job. They had a great plan against our offense, and I thought we had a pretty good plan, but they just went after our weaknesses. So as a coach, you have to be able to be more diversified and than what I was. So just learning how to work with our kids a little bit better and picking a better plan for them.
For you, it had to be kind of nice, and even for some of the kids that are coming up through now, to have that senior class to help carry you through some of your growing pains, but also to kind of set a good example for the kids coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been with them since they were freshmen, so that senior class graduated, and so I knew them pretty well, and they knew me, and they knew what I wanted, and they knew just how to execute it. Even if I didn't communicate it the best way, they understood what I wanted. So they play hard and they set the tone. Nobody out hits us at home, and that's something we definitely live with.
Talking about the team that's going to be coming in this year, the big question I think right now, just looking at practice, is obviously going to be numbers for you guys. You graduated a lot of seniors. Everyone knew that was going to be the big issue coming in, was going to be the numbers. Where are you at right now? Kind of what are your feelings on the early showing?
It's always the first week of practice. We'll gain some more freshmen for sure, because they will be like, I didn't know anything about it, and even though it's posted everywhere. But I hope we can recruit some more kids. I think we have the core kids that we have. We got a good group, and I knew that coming into this year, that if we can keep the core together, we'll be fine. And so it's just getting kids excited about playing, being out here on a Friday night. There's nothing like it in Salida. And, there's more people here to watch a game than in any other sport. So I'm glad the kids love it. And, just spending time with the middle school and getting them hyped up about it as well is what we're going to do.
We'll talk a little bit about the middle school, because I know you are going to be a bit more involved in that. We'll kind of wrap up with that piece. But before we get too much further, some of the players that are going to be some keys for you, a couple come to mind right away, right off of the bat. That's going to be Zane Walker, quarterback, Jesse Camp on both offensive and defensive line, and just in that front seven for the defense in general, because he's going to be that jack of all. Where do I need him? Where's the big guy? But those two, you couldn't ask for much better leaders coming back from last year's team.
Yeah, absolutely. This summer, Zane and Jesse were at every weightlifting session. If they couldn't make it, they made sure they told me within 24 hours, like, hey coach, I can't make it. And I know that they're going to make it up. So, their leadership, they've been taught by great guys, but Zane's kind of a silent leader, but he's getting more vocal, which I love, because kids rally around Zane, and Jesse's just that solid. I'm here to do the best I can, and I'm here to push you to be the best I can. And he's just a big teddy bear at the end of the day as well.
Yeah, great for everyone to be around as far as that role model. Just one of those uplifting people where there's always a smile on his face. Reminds me a lot of Juan from last year, and even Vince from last year. Just kind of a mix of those two, size and personality-wise. Talking outside of those, though, any young kids that you've seen that have kind of turned your attention, whether it was in summer camp or whether it was something that you've seen the first couple of days?
Yeah, Brewer Matthews is definitely one of those kids that I think is going to step up. He's filling out. He's looking good. Braden Collins as a sophomore, and that kid looks really good. Just in a suit, he's gonna turn some heads and be like, "Are you sure he's just a sophomore?" Like, yeah, he's just a sophomore. But Braden, when we took him to camp, Zane could be our quarterback. And last year Braden was our JV quarterback, our scout team quarterback, and sometimes he got his bell rung, and he'd get up and and just kind of have that wide-eyed look in his face. And at camp, it was a totally different kid. He showed up, and he led the offense very well, and defense. He played hard. He did everything we needed to. It kind of shocked me, really. But I'm super excited about Braden and what he can do. Zayden Redfeather, it's a name that we haven't said much about. He's just he's Keanu 2.0. Actually, that's Keanu. That's why he's out here, is because he loves Zayden, and he wants to try to help Zayden do the best he can. So, Zayden's going to be ready to go. He's been working hard in and out of the weight room. So, we'll see what Zayden can do.
There's going to be some really fun young names to watch, and I'm really excited, because that is the biggest piece for this team, I think, is the fact that there's going to be so many people in the stands on Friday nights that you mentioned. They're not going to know who they're watching, really. They're going to get to discover this team much in the ways that you have through the years that you've been around them, but they get to discover them underneath that big pageantry. The pageantry starts up on the 30th. You guys will be traveling to Summit. That's just one of what's going to be a pretty difficult schedule for you guys this year. What do you look at in terms of schedule? And I know every coach is going to tell me that one game at a time.
Right.
I already know what's coming out of your mouth. But as a coach, if you take the kids and how they look at it and just look at it for yourself, what do you think of the schedule and which games are you kind of excited about?
You know, again, it's one game at a time. But you know, when we do these schedules, it's, you know, especially my philosophy is, if you want to be the best, you have to beat the best. And so, you know, we're not shy from playing teams that are, you know, quote unquote the best, and we like that. It's just great competition. And you know, even if if our numbers are down, you know, it's like we'll put our shoes on and we'll go scrap. And that's all I care about, is as long as we go out and we play hard. And so, you know, the big games are, you know, obviously that first game is always a big one because it sets the tone for the rest of the year. You know, win or lose, you know, it sets the tone. And that second game is just usually a rebound game. So all the mistakes you made your first game, you correct them and you fix them. So I think that's going to help us out against Manitou for sure. We'll be more confident, and plus we're playing at home, you know, that game. So, and then, you know, Delta's going to be the real deal. You know, I'm not going to lie. Delta's going to have the team that's, you know, we faced them at camp a little bit, and those guys can play, you know, but, you know, we got guys that can go play against them, and we got speed like any other team. I don't think they'll really face a speed like us. You know, and of course the BV game's always a big rival, you know, and I'm excited about playing them. And, you know, Cedar Edge, which is just an add-on game, you know, that should be a good game too. But, you know, when we get in our league, you know, looking at it, every team lost about the same amount of seniors as we did, except Pagosa. You know, so Pagosa, you know, kind of is that, you know, are they going to have a quarterback and a fullback that can play? And if they do, then, you know, we better hold on to our hats. And, you know, Alamos as well. It's kind of just, you know, what is Alamos going to have?
Yeah, I think for you guys in the league, I think the preview, you hit the nail on the head. I think Pagosa, going into it, you obviously need to figure out what they have, but going into it, I would say they're the favorite. Bayfield, Alamosa would kind of slip into that. Really the 2 through 4 spots, though. I think Cortez, with what they lost, that's going to be a big rebuilding program. They were kind of where Gunnison was heading towards. If Gunnison had gotten a few more kids out. But I think this league is going to be a dogfight for those 2 through 4 spots. How important is that going to be in getting that 3 spot, not the 4 spot, in playoff picture for this year?
It's huge because, you know, I think if we get that 3rd spot, which we did a couple of years ago, you know, we won't be going to the dance. You know, we might be, but our league isn't going to be as strong as it was last year. So, you know, we're not going to get majority of our teams going to the playoffs, so we definitely have to fight for it. And, you know, the way I coach is we're still going to be coaching to win the league.
Absolutely.
You know, and I think, you know, I think with everybody losing everything that they have, I think we have a great shot out of it if we can stay healthy and we can keep our core together.
Coach, thanks for the time. Season starts up on August 30th on the road at Summit. We'll have that game on the Peak. And don't forget, the Peak 92.3 is going to be your exclusive home for Salida Spartan Athletics this year. There is only one difference that's going to be, and that's when the games are in Buena Vista. It'll be on Eagle. If the game against Buena Vista is in Salida, it'll be on the Peak 92.3. But that's your programming heads up. Also, check out Facebook, Heart of the Rockies Radio Sports. You'll have more stuff with Coach Luttrell, more stuff with the kids. And other than that, Coach, I'm looking forward to getting it all rolling.
Sweet, I am too.
Thanks so much.
Yep, absolutely.